Hello everybody, welcome to EduTab and welcome to the revision series for NABARD Grade A 2020. So we are running this series for the Phase 2 examination of NABARD and the date is not out yet. That's why you have lot of time to prepare better for the exam. That's why we have come up with this particular lecture of ARD Static in which we are going to discuss about agricultural engineering. So this is the part third of this particular topic. Two videos we have already covered. So if you haven't watched those videos, then please first watch those videos, then come to this particular part. And one more thing I want to tell you that we are running 50% off on our NABARD courses. So you can use the code NABARD50 to avail that discount. And one more thing I want to tell you guys that during the coronavirus outbreak, we are recording these sessions from our homes. That's why if any background noise comes, then please excuse us. And here are our results for the year 2019. So in NABARD grade A 2019, we had 25 selections out of 41. In grade B, we had 4 selections out of 8. And in RBI grade B, we had 215 plus calls for interviews. Final result is not out yet. And in the same way, the results for 2018 are given here. Now let's start with the video. So first question is, dynamometer is used for what? So dynamometer is a very commonly known equipment. Now you have to tell me that it is used for what? Options are pressure measurement, second water depth measurement, third is wind direction measurement, fourth is power measurement, or fifth is none of these. So guys, it's a very easy question actually. Dynamometer is used for what? Pressure measurement, water depth measurement, wind direction measurement, or power measurement. Correct answer is option fourth, that is power measurement. So dynamometer is used for power measurement. Now let's see what does dynamometer means and how does it measure. So dynamometer or dyno is a device for measuring force, torque or power. So if force or torque are also given in the option, then those will also be the correct answer. And the power produced by an engine, motor or other rotating prime mover can be calculated by simultaneously measuring torque and rotational speed. So till now we were seeing that actually power of engine can be measured by rotation per minute, or motor power can also be measured by that. So this power is calculated by dynamometer. And here we have the picture of dynamometer, as you can see, and a dynamometer places a load on the engine and then measures the amount of power that the engine can produce against the load. So in this way, dynamometer measures the power of an engine. So guys, now it must be clear in your mind that what dynamometer is. It measures force, torque or power. Or how does it measure? By placing a load on the engine and then measuring the amount of power. So this was about dynamometer. Now let's move forward to our next question. Okay, next question is, hydraulic brake is based on which law? So we all are are aware about the term hydraulic brake, and it is used in many equipments. Now question is that it is based on which law? Option first is Charles' law, second is Pascal's law, third is Boyle's law, fourth is Kirchhoff's law, and fifth is none of the above. So hydraulic brake is based on which scientific law? That you have to answer. Come on, even if you don't know the answer, then you can try to answer. At least you can guess, so that if you know, then fine. If you don't, then you can know the answer after I tell you. Okay, answer is option second, that is Pascal's law. So hydraulic brake is based on Pascal's law. So hydraulic brake system is based on the principle of Pascal's law. And what is Pascal's law? So Pascal's law states that any pressure applied to a fluid inside a closed system will transmit that pressure equally in all directions throughout the fluid. So this principle can be seen in this particular diagram also. As you can see that here is the tank and this fluid is exerting the pressure on this, and due to this pressure the brake or caliper pistons will move. So in this way, hydraulic brake system works. And this law is the basic principle that causes hydraulic power in heavy construction machines to work. And the fluid which is there in the tank, it is usually a mixture of glycerine and alcohol. So guys, these things you have to remember, that hydraulic brake works on Pascal's law. Second, the fluid which is used in this is glycerine and alcohol. And here we have the working of this system, you can clearly see. Now let's move forward to our next question. Next question is, in tractor, which linkage system is widely used? So we all know that in tractors a lot of other equipments are connected, a lot of other equipments are linked. So tell me which linkage system is widely used in tractors. Options are 2-point linkage, option second 4-point linkage, option third 3-point linkage, or 4 all are used in the tractor. So these are the options. Tell me which linkage system is widely used in tractors. Correct answer is option third, that is 3-point linkage. So 3-point linkage is the most used in the tractors. Now let's know what 3-point linkage means. So the 3-point hitch or 3-point linkage is a widely used type of hitch for attaching plows and other implements to an agricultural or industrial tractor. So through these linkages, plows or other implements are attached to the tractor, and these 3 points resemble either a triangle or the letter A. So as you can see in this picture, you can see that this is a triangle type hitch. That's why this is known as 3-point hitch or 3-point linkage. And it is a combination of 3 links. One is upper link and 2 are lower link. So you can see that here this is the upper link and this is the lower link. And the links are paired to the tractor and the implements and their ends in order to connect the implement to the tractor. So from here the other implement can be connected to the tractor. Now let's move forward to our next question. Next is, puddling is done at a depth of what? So options are 30 to 45 centimeter, 5 to 10 centimeter, 10 to 20 centimeter, 20 to 30 centimeter, or 15 to 25 centimeter. So guys, it's a very important question. Puddling is done at the depth of what? Correct answer is option second, that is 5 to 10 centimeter. So puddling is done at a depth of 5 to 10 centimeter. Now let's know more about puddling. So puddling is basically the process of churning the soil with water. So as you can see in this picture, here with the help of a tractor or with the help of equipments, this man is churning the soil with the water, and it is generally done in paddy fields with standing water of 5 to 10 centimeter depth. So 5 to 10 centimeter depth of standing water is required generally for puddling. And what is the use of puddling? It breaks up the clods and churns the soil. Now we have other purposes of puddling also: to reduce leaching of water or to decrease percolation of water. Second, to kill the weeds by decomposition. Third, to facilitate transplantation of paddy seedlings by making the soil softer. So it also makes the soil softer. Next, to decrease water and nutrient losses by reduced hydraulic conductivity. So it also reduces the hydraulic conductivity to avoid the nutrient losses. So guys, these are the most important purposes of puddling that can also be asked in the exam. That's why you have to keep these in mind. Now we have last question for today's video. The tillage operation, which pulverizes, smoothens and packs the soil in seedbed preparation, is known as what? So you have to keep in mind that this is the kind of tillage operation, and this operation pulverizes, smoothens and packs the soil in seed bed preparation. Options are puddling, harrowing, pulverization, plowing, or none of the above. So we just learned about puddling. This is not the puddling is not the answer here, because we know that puddling actually churns the soil. It doesn't smoothen or packs the soil, it churns the soil. So puddling cannot be the answer. Now you have to answer out of harrowing, pulverization, plowing, or none of the above? Tell me what is the correct answer. Correct answer is option second, that is harrowing. So harrowing is the kind of tillage operation which pulverizes, smoothens and packs the soil in seed bed preparation. So what is harrowing? Let's know about that. So harrowing is a kind of tillage operation as given in the question, and it pulverizes, smoothens and packs the soil in seed bed preparation. Apart from that, it also helps to control weeds. So harrowing is done with an implement which is known as harrow. So that can be seen in the picture. This red implement, this equipment is known as harrow, and it cuts the soil to a shallow depth for smoothing and pulverizing the soil, as well as to cut the weed and to mix materials with the soil. So with the help of an arrow, smoothing is done and as well as pulverizing the done. Apart from that, it also cut the weeds. So these are the main purpose of harrowing that you have to remember, and you can see its picture here also, that red equipment is the harrow. So guys, that was it for today's video. I hope that these concepts have become clear in your mind. If you have any doubt, then you can mail us at hello@edutab.co.in. Also, you can call us on this number, which is 8146207241. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye bye, take care, happy learning and be safe in your houses.